1.4 solutions by multiplication and division. Shouldn't be a whole lot to go over here. Once again, this is once again, this is a review, very hard review actually, things that you've already done. It's the same concept, even though we did an example like it yesterday. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do the same thing to what?
The other.
To the other. So, if I had 1/3 x is equal to 10, I want to know what one of these x's is equal to, not what 1/3 of them is. Okay? And over here to the side, I want you to write this fact. Any number multiplied by its reciprocal gets the number 1 as your answer. Any number multiplied by its reciprocal. Now, what is a reciprocal? The reciprocal of A over B is B over A. A over B times B over A will always get you 1 as an answer.
So it's just like it's opposite?
To flip it. Flip it. That's why when you have fractions, if you guys will remember, you can't divide fractions, so what you do is you change division to multiplication by multiplying by the reciprocal. To divide by a number is the same thing as to multiply by its reciprocal. To divide by 4 is the same thing as to multiply by 1 over 4. Because isn't 4 over 1? Right? So to divide by 4 is the same thing as to multiply by, flip it, 1 over 4. Okay? So when we have a fraction like this, and as our coefficient in front of our x, we want to make that 1/3 into a 1. How can we make any number into 1? By multiplying by its what? So I multiply by what? 3 over 1. However, whatever I do to the left side of the equation, what do I have to do to the right side? The exact same thing. Now, understand, this is 10 over what? So when I multiply, what happens to the 3's here? Why does this become 1? They divide into 1, don't they? Leaving you just 1x over here. 10 over 1 times 3 over 1. Do I have to have them over 1? No, I don't. What's 3 times 10?
30.
You guys remember doing that now? You should have a memory of doing that. A memory of doing things a little different. How would you do your check there?
Plug 30 back in for x.
I would do 1/3 times whatever x is equal to 10. I would plug 30 back in. What is 1/3 times 30? Anybody? 10. We're going through one time, going to that 10 times. Is that a true statement? Does no one in here know that 10 equal to 10 is a true statement? Speak up, wake up. That's a true statement, isn't it? So is our answer correct?
Yes.
Yes, it is. What do I do when there's just a plain number in front? This was example 1. Let's do example 2. What changes when I have 15x is equal to a 45? What do I want to make that thing in front of the x into? I don't want to know what 15x's are equal to. I want to know what one of these x's is equal to. What's another way to make any number into 1 besides multiplying by the reciprocal? You could also divide by itself. So when there's a whole number or integer in front of there, you just divide by whatever's in front. So I divide by 15, divide this side by 15, correct? 1x equals 3. Your check should be very simple. You're simply gonna 15 times whatever x is. You found 3. You get 45 equal to 45. Is that a true statement?
Yes.
If so, write the word true. Well, those were both 2 examples where I had what in front? A positive number. Oh no, what am I going to do now? All right, at this point right here, I want everybody's penciled down. Watch me do this. Let's do this together, then I'll freeze it and you can write it down. First things first. I've got the variable terms of solving from one side, everything else on the other. Guys, I'm going to let you in a little secret. I want you doing these problems exactly how I'm doing, not your own way. If you start, just write the answer and you don't show me what you multiply both by, I'm not accepting it. I'll give it back, it's a 0. Got it? Okay. What do I want to make the number in front of x into? I want to make it into a 1. Would everyone agree?
Yep.
I want to know what 1x is equal to. Right now, earphones off, please. I have what is a negative 3/4 equal to. I want to make this into a 1. How do I make any fraction into a 1? Multiplying by its reciprocal. Well, what is the reciprocal of a negative 3/4?
Positive 4/3.
Probably your first thought is to say a positive 4/3, but actually that's incorrect. It's the exact same thing, just flipped. So if it's, think about it, a positive times a negative, that would leave you -1 here, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because everybody thinks opposite or flip. They think reciprocal, they think opposite and flipping it. So they think opposite sign, but in reality, the signs stay the same. So if that's a negative, what do I want this to be? See what I'm saying? Makes sense? What happens here?
They cancel.
They divide into 1, negative times negative is a positive. But whatever I multiply the left side by, I have to multiply what? Now, you know what's great here for something like this? To have a calculator, isn't it? 5 ABC 8 times 4 ABC 3. Now, I didn't include the negative. What I suggest you do, and I would put parentheses around that so you realize that you're multiplying, not subtracting, right? Is realize what's a positive times a negative? Negative. Now just worry about the numbers. What's the answer? I just put it in my calculator. The answer is 5/6. If you were to do that by hand, 4 will go into 4 one time, 4 will go into that 2 times, 2 times 3 is 6, 5 times 1 is 5. Okay? There's your answer. Now, your check. What are you going to do for your check? I'm going to put -5/6 back in, so I have -3/4 times what? -5/6 is equal to 5/8. First, what's a negative times a negative? Positive. So 3 ABC 4 times 5 ABC 6 equals What kind of statement is that? True statement. If you're having to do this by hand, through going to that one time, we're going to that 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 5 times 1 is 5. Negative to the negative is a positive. Okay? So in a problem where we had like negative 8x is equal to a negative 24. And like I said, I'll let you write all this down in just a second. What am I going to do here? I have an integer in front of my x. So instead of multiplying, what am I going to do? By itself, because I want to know what one of these x's is equal to, correct?
Yes.
So what am I going to divide by here? Anybody?
Negative 8.
A negative 8. Same sign, because you want a negative by a negative to be a positive. If I divide everything on the left side by negative 8, I have to divide everything on the right side by negative 8. Negative by negative is 8. 24 divided by 8. Check. Negative 8 times a positive 3 is equal to negative 24. You multiply that out, you get negative 24 is equal to what?
Negative 24.
A true statement. Therefore, it is checked. Your assignment, numbers 1 through 20, write problems, draw figures, show all steps, and work. On numbers 17 through 20, abbreviate. You don't have to write that paragraph out word for word. We'll write the conditions of the problem down. Everybody got that?